Hello and welcome to the zoo. Today we're going to talk about the dilemma of dealing with speed to innovation on one side and just keeping the lights on the other hand. With me is Jeff Moloughney from Los Angeles.
Good morning, everybody.
And Erin Avery, all the way from Houston, Texas. To start with you, Erin, what's the whole idea of rushing to innovation, bringing new ideas, new products, new solutions to various enterprises, if we can't even keep basic things like change management, automation, and so on running on a 24/7 level?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that, the business is relying on technology more than ever to gain and maintain a competitive advantage. And so that means that they need us, IT professionals, or you all IT professionals, more than ever. They rely on you. And so that means that we need to run our operations very efficiently so that we can support the business, because their need for our support isn't going to decrease. It isn't going to change. It's only going to increase. And so what we're really seeing in IT organizations is the need to run what we're calling high speed, or what we're seeing IT organizations characterize as high speed. They need to be nimble, they need to be agile, they need to be fast, and they need to focus all of their energy on things that are business value add. And so the processes that run IT basically they just have to work, quite frankly. And I would say never more in the history of IT than now is fast time to value critical. And when I say fast time to value, I'm talking weeks, not months, not years. We're talking weeks and days. That's what the business expects.
Yeah. Jeff, all this sounds good, but day-to-day operations is not aligned with what you just talked about.
Yeah, sometimes the day-to-day operations, look at it as sort of two things, right? You have strategic, and then you have that more nimble point of view that Erin talks about, right? And IT needs to be strategic and kind of forward-thinking and think about what's going to happen over the next quarters and the next years, and implement a strategy that's going to support the businesses over a longer period of time. And in Erin's world, what she's talking about, the market fluctuates rather quickly, so the business needs to change. So that's the nimbleness that she is requiring, but also at the same time, IT needs this longer-term strategy, more industrialized point of view on how you're going to automate the business, not just for a service desk, but across the major fronts that IT is supporting these days.
He sounds very much old-fashioned in his statement that, it's great that innovation is here, but yada.
There's not always.
Why is innovation so important?
Well, I think actually, Jeff makes a great point. The reality is that IT is now in two businesses. They're in the business of running IT, and that's really what Jeff is talking about. But they're also in the business of running business. And so you can't just be in one. And so in reality, we find a lot of organizations running their IT organizations at, we call it two-speed, or what we're seeing is two-speed IT, this very industrialized, pragmatic way of operating, but then also being able to switch gears or have a team focused on running very quickly, focused on the business needs. And like I said, that's what goes back to that very quick turnaround that's measured in weeks and days, not months, or days and weeks, not months and years. So I think that this is it's very practical. And I think that for the IT organizations that I'm seeing be most successful, they're accepting that especially in large complex organizations, that they need to run IT at two speeds. And the organizations who are accepting that and really embracing it are the ones that are able to support the business, but also stay in the business of running their IT organization.
Are there any real examples you can give us?
Yeah, Jeff, do you want to go, or you want me to?
You go ahead.
Okay, yeah, great. We're working with one large agricultural company right now, and it's interesting. You think agriculture and you think manufacturing, and you don't think high-speed IT, but they actually have really adopted this perspective where they're in the business of running their IT organization. They've really focused on industrializing that IT organization, but they are supporting the needs of their discrete business units, whether it's some of the core business functions like human resources or logistics or sourcing. They're able to use very high-speed technology, and really the key to high speed, by the way, we haven't dug into this yet, Alf, is going to be cloud. It may feel like cloud is old news, but what we see is organizations who are really adopting that two-speed IT, they're really embracing cloud, and that's the thing that liberates them to run at the speed that they've never run at before, that's really in alignment with the business. And so we have a number of organizations that are, some organizations in digital services industries, but then also some very traditional industries, and they're really embracing this two-speed IT.
Yeah, and even if you just look at sort of the world today, there's a tons of mergers and acquisitions. This is not a specific company example. And when you're acquiring a company for technology, you're acquiring a company to go into a specific region, that's when you really need that kind of nimbleness. You need to be able to go take over their IT services and support them so that they can continue on the business in their region or their technology that they were providing or the goods that they were providing. But at the same time, you need to sort of hold the fort down and keep that industrialized, that strategic approach. But that's not to say that both sides can't be innovative, right? You can be innovative for that small and nimble, but at the same time, you can be innovative for these larger, lengthier term, strategic-looking projects for IT that's supporting the business.
Yeah, and one of the other interesting things that we're seeing when it comes to being fast and nimble and agile that also marries in with the with this industrialized perspective is we see a lot of organizations examining the flow of information across their business and how information is flowing today and how those processes are working, but then really examining where are the friction points, where does information disappear into a black hole. And so we're seeing a number of customers that are actually taking the time to really identify that and look to really synergize and create information flow where friction points exist today. And so they're really evolving their processes.
Let me ask you this.
Integrating.
What is a friction point?
A friction point, for example, so think about different departments who rely on information today from another department. So perhaps a customer service organization. I think of one customer that we work with that was in the print media and print advertising space. And as print has really declined, they've transformed their business into digital services and digital advertising. And so now their customer service agents who are talking directly to their end customers, well, they're talking to them about digital services, not a print ad. And so that digital service is dependent on the IT organization's ability to deliver that technology. And so you have a customer service organization that in the past never needed to talk to IT, but now they're completely dependent on IT. And so we're seeing organizations saying, okay, here's a friction point. Information is disappearing into a black hole. Let's synergize our processes and create a connection point. And one of the big drivers for this is we see many organizations developing a very clear PaaS or platform as a service strategy. And when they standardize on a platform, it makes a cloud platform typically, it makes it very it really makes it much easier to create synergies where these friction points exist. So they're sharing common core technology, and that's really enabling them to reevaluate their processes and create connections where there were friction points.
This is a friction point. Notepad.
Jeff, will the LA Raiders come back to LA?
Let's hope so.
And was that the best coaching decision you could do with the UT?
Don't even get me started. There's 13 coaches in the last 12 years, so we can't bring in the Raiders in this conversation. Let's stick to IT.
Yeah.
IT is an easier problem to solve than the Raiders.
Yeah, or how about IT is an easier problem to solve than getting an NFL team back in one of the nation's largest markets.
Yeah. For all of you out there, thank you so much. Stay safe. Bye-bye.